Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, if you've ever looked at modern fitness culture and just felt completely overwhelmed, or maybe you just feel like you don't have the right tools or gym membership to even get started, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're doing a complete breakdown of an incredibly accessible 15-minute home workout, and it is designed from the ground up for absolute beginners. We're not talking about lifting heavy weights or grinding for hours on a treadmill. It's just practical, zero-equipment movement that you can literally do right in the middle of your living room. Right off the bat, the instructor sets this amazingly empathetic tone. He actually says, the idea is to show beginners that we all started somewhere. And it's so true, right? Every single fitness journey has a day one. There is absolutely no shame in being a beginner. Whether you're working out for the very first time, trying to get back into it after a years-long break, or navigating physical challenges, the only goal here is to just get your body moving.
So to really unpack this routine, our agenda today is going to cover 5 main pillars: moving at home, adapting to your level, avoiding joint pain, the full cardio circuit, and finally, the beginner mindset.
Let's dive right into Section 1, Moving at Home, the ultimate accessible workout. To remove pretty much every barrier between you and actually doing the workout, the entire routine is built on this super simple interval framework, 45/15. That means 45 seconds of continuous effort, followed immediately by a guaranteed 15 seconds of recovery. It's actually a brilliant setup because 45 seconds is just long enough to get your heart rate up and really challenge your muscles. But knowing that 15-second rest is coming keeps you from totally burning out. It keeps the momentum going, you know?
And when you stack those 45-15 intervals across a few basic exercises for exactly 3 rounds, your total time commitment is literally just 15 minutes. The whole shebang, and absolutely zero equipment is required. The source material explicitly points out that this routine is safe enough for kids to join in, and it's highly adaptable for anyone who might be struggling with their weight. It really is a universal starting block.
Which brings us nicely to Section 2, adapting to your level, scaling the workout safely.
So when it comes to home exercise, giving yourself the grace to adapt the movements to your actual physical level is an absolute game changer. Take the bear crawl, for example. In the standard version, you'd be up on your hands and toes, walking your body forward and back. But hey, if that's just too intense for your core or your shoulders right now, the instructor says to just adapt it. Drop safely to your knees. From there, you only walk your hands out as far as your current strength allows, and then walk them back. You're still getting a fantastic shoulder and core workout, but you're doing it in a way that actually builds strength instead of just leaving you frustrated.
And we see this exact same concept with another foundational move, the Superman back extension. The standard version expects you to lift both arms and both legs off the floor all at the same time. If that feels like way too much, you instantly scale it down to an alternating Superman. You just lift your left arm and your right leg, lower them, and switch. Instead of forcing your body to do it all at once, isolating the movement makes it dramatically easier while still firing up those crucial lower back muscles. Okay, moving on to Section 3, Avoiding joint pain. Safety first for beginners.
Look, for beginners, one of the single biggest hurdles is simply the fear of getting hurt. And avoiding knee and back pain is crucial if you want to stick with a routine. The instructor is super proactive about this. First, to prevent neck pain, if your neck starts aching while you're doing floor exercises, just rest your head flat on the ground. Seriously, your abs are still doing the work. Second, protecting those knees. If jumping causes you any discomfort at all, just step side to side. Boom, you've removed the impact entirely. And third, to save your lower back. When you're doing core work that involves lowering your legs toward the floor, you have to control the descent. Don't ever just let gravity yank your legs down, because that is exactly what strains the lower back.
The overarching, absolutely non-negotiable rule here is that you must prioritize control over speed. Rushing through a 45-second interval with sloppy form is practically a recipe for an injury. Controlling the movement, that's how you build lasting strength and keep your joints perfectly safe. Just go at your own pace.
All right, Section 4, the full cardio circuit, breaking down the movements.
Let's actually look at the exercises that make up this full-body fat-burning circuit. It's kind of like a perfectly balanced meal, mixing 2 distinct categories of movement. On one side, you've got pure cardio meant to spike that heart rate. Things like jumping an imaginary jump rope, high knees with big arm swings, and your classic jumping jacks. On the other side, you have foundational strengthening moves for your core, back, and legs, like ab drops, oblique side touches, the Superman, the bear crawl we talked about, and alternating lunges. By blending these, you get all the sweaty cardiovascular benefits right alongside the muscular toning.
For the most complex movement in the entire routine,
a move the instructor calls the stand up to lie down, he intentionally breaks into 3 very deliberate steps. Step 1, safely lower your hands and knees to the ground. Step 2, lie completely flat on your stomach. And Step 3, push up and steadily rise back to your feet, 1 foot at a time. He makes a really great point here. Only speed up this pace if your lungs and your heart are actually ready for it. If they aren't, just slowly stepping down and stepping back up is perfectly fine and still highly effective.
And finally, Section 5, the beginner mindset, exercising for yourself.
You know, the physical mechanics, that's really only half the battle. The rest is entirely mental. Throughout the workout, the instructor actually pauses to drop these great motivational reminders. He says, if we do sports, it's for us, not for the others. It's to progress ourselves, to feel good in our body. And I just love that. It totally reinforces that fitness is a deeply personal thing. It's not a race, and it is definitely not a competition with the fitness models on your social media feed or even with the instructor on the screen. It is literally just about you taking 15 minutes out of your busy day to feel good in your own skin.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. This whole routine proves that taking that very first step is always the hardest part. You don't need fancy equipment, you don't need an expensive gym, and you sure don't need to be an expert. If you just do the movements, you are going to finish those 15 minutes in better shape than when you started. So now that you know exactly how to safely and effectively get moving at home, what's your next fitness goal going to be? Think about that as you go about your day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.